Nerd Talks.
Welcome back, nerds, to another episode of Nerd Talks. Today in our episode, we're going to be discussing game worlds we would like to live in, and or sort of maybe survive in. Some of them, a lot of game worlds are rough. Today I'm with my co-host, brother Ashton, and we're going to discuss worlds that we'd like to maybe try for a day, worlds that we definitely would probably not make it very long in, worlds that we would like to maybe try our hand at, ones that are maybe a little bit more risky to attempt to live in, more deadlier than maybe our regular world, and then worlds that we could actually just live in, that we would feel safe and has its, has everything that you would need for a regular functioning world.
With some add-ons.
So, with that being said, let's dive right in. So, let's discuss some worlds that we would maybe be fun for a day. Coincidentally, the worlds that we have chosen are all
High risk, low rewards.
well, that is true for sure. But these are all they're all based kind of on the same engine.
That's true.
They're all based on 1/2 companies here. One company just broke off from the other company, basically. And that would be Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Outer Worlds. So let's start with Fallout. A world that no one should want to live in.
No.
But just being one of my favorite personal games.
Dope.
I would like to try it for a day.
Yeah, that would be interesting, but I guess it would also have to be like, where? Where do you want to be? What game specifically?
Okay, sure. I'd have to go back to definitely not New Vegas. That just seems like it's just not sure that I would want to do that.
Yeah, despite it being my favorite, I don't think I'd want to live there.
I think I would just have to go with the Commonwealth. I feel like they maybe just have it
A little better.
the best of what we've seen for the most part. I know there is that one weird Vault City or something like that that theoretically has it really well. But I don't know that game and I don't know really that city. So we're just gonna pass on that one. But yeah, I think just it's one of the old, probably like Fallout 1 or 2 or something.
Oh,
It's an old one.
yeah.
But yeah, I think the Commonwealth, just living in being getting to live near the Fort last year. Yeah. So you're in Boston. There's kind of a lot of people living around in Boston and surrounding areas. Boston itself is dangerous, but I would say a lot less dangerous than being outside the city. And with saying that, any of the other games as well, where you're not
Talking about the Commonwealth, I feel like I wouldn't want to be in the city.
that's so safe in the city for the most part. I mean, the closer
Super mutants, raiders,
well, yeah, but
death claws.
okay, but there's 2 whole cities within Boston.
Guess what? They're both filled with raiders.
No, those
Super mutant.
Diamond City is like one of the safest places.
Yeah. And then what's the other one? Good Neighbor?
Good Neighbor, yeah. Good Neighbor is
I'm not living with Good Neighbor.
Yeah, Good Neighbor is a little shady, but you just got to be on the up and up on how to be shady.
Ugh. And I don't even know if Diamond City is still pretty rough.
Diamond City is a little rough. So yeah, let's go over some of our critiques here on each of the worlds, and we'll go over those last forms before moving on. So we're going to discuss the safety, the economy, the quality of life, any mechanics, game mechanics that we would have to get used to or work into a regular life, and then making sure that there's some kind of sustenance, some kind of food source, and then respawns. So we'll do this for each of the game worlds that we discuss here, in kind of the consequences for each one. So the safety is kind of where we're at right now with Fallout, and it is not safe basically anywhere. Like I said, if you stay in one of those two cities, you're probably okay. And if you're with the Brotherhood of Steel, as long as you're like a scribe and not a paladin or a squire, you're probably okay because you're basically probably just on base all the time if you're a scribe.
You're literally a nerd.
Yeah. Or you are just a nerd. Or you're just kind of, low risk in that portion of the job. But I think, being a member of the Brotherhood of Steel that isn't an active combatant is probably
All right.
maybe the safest you can be.
Well, want to one up that and say a scientist with the institute?
Okay. Okay. Oh, well, okay. Oh, well, now I think we're cheating. I think that the institute is an automatic win. If I mean, some people would live there in our real life. Like people would go and live in a place like that.
For sure.
But let's discuss. The economy is
Horrendous.
it's out of hand. It's a barter system mainly, and we use bottle caps. So I don't really know where to even go with the economy here. And if we lived in that world, I would just be a junk collector basically because that's
Everybody's got something for. Everybody needs something for something, especially in 4 specifically, where 4 relies heavily on crafting.
Yep.
Whereas the other games, specifically talking here, New Vegas and 3, which are the 3 games, 3, 4, New Vegas are the ones I've easily played the most.
Yeah. Well, I think those are just the biggest games of the franchise.
And those 2 don't rely as heavily on crafting. 3, I don't really think it really does at all. I know New Vegas does a little, but not nearly as much as.
Sure.
There's not much you can do to beat the game decently without somewhat collecting. And even if you're not making your own like stim packs, psycho, whatever, I feel like you would still need to. You're not going to run around with this bulky assault rifle the whole time, which is another thing we could talk about too. Is
sure. Yeah.
we just wait.
Yeah. We could talk about the game mechanics right now. So yeah, there's a lot of crafting that we would have to learn how to do and do. In the game, you just happen to know how to do that. So I have to say that it's inherent that we would just happen to know how to craft it. So as soon as we dropped into the world, the game mechanic that I'm looking at the most, I play Fallout 4 on survival mode boss, literally without mods, because I'm not a punk.
What does that make you? Because there is mods you can get to play with survival that make it even harder. You can get like bleeding mods, one-shot mods. I have a mod installed.
Survival mode is pretty hard.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard already. Okay. The thing. So taking survival mode aside, the one other game mechanic that I think is kind of crazy that we have to really worry about, and I think I put this kind of with the quality of life, which quality of life is terrible.
Yeah.
It is the apocalypse. Is the rats.
Yeah, I was about to say radiation storms too.
The radiation storms. Just having to deal with
radiation in general.
Yeah, and basically everything in the food. It's in unpurified water. That makes the quality of life. But it's where it makes it unlivable, basically. And we were just kind of bringing up the food as well. Is it's pretty hard to find food without rats. If you've played the game before, there's very little food that doesn't give you at least a little bit of radiation, and a little radiation is fine. We get it in our real life, but there's a point where it's just like building up and building up.
Like, oh, this pre-war food, 10 rats, junk. Vendor, take it, 2 caps, you can have it.
And then the last thing we want to touch on before we move on to the sister game here is respawns. So when we're going over these worlds and we're talking about the respawns, we're going to talk about how it affects us. In some worlds it's fine, and you just come back to life automatically. In these first 3 worlds, there is no respawn. There's no respawn at all.
As you mentioned before we started, it's a reload.
Yeah. It's a reload. And for those playing on survival,
Theoretically,
you know what the reload does to you. It's terrible because there's no autosaves. You have to manually save, and you can only do it in best.
it's back to Oblivion.
It's terrible. So moving on, we'll go to Fallout's sister game here, Elder Scrolls. And we're just gonna go through all the topics here again. So we're gonna talk about the safety, which is
So much better than Fallout, I'll say.
by so much,
So much.
by a lot.
By a lot.
Well, no, it's by a lot. If you live in the city,
For sure.
if
Yeah,
you live in the
there
city,
it is. You live in this city. And then again, it depends on what game. Morrowind, I haven't played too much Morrowind, but I reckon you'd be fine. Granted, I wouldn't want to live in that area to
Sure.
begin with, because that's already not a good area.
Oblivion is generally fine.
It's
For
Yeah,
the
once-
most part, fine. I mean,
before or after the gates are closed, perfectly fine. Ain't got nothing to worry about.
even when the gates are happening, they rarely come in a city.
That's true. Until
Yeah, there's a couple
they
that
come
do.
into the city.
There's a couple that do, but
But genuinely,
and then Skyrim is scary, terrifying because there could be an uprising of war at any moment.
Yeah.
or the
Or
dragons attack.
dragons or boom, troll. Boom, giant.
Um,
That'd be the type of world you'd be like, you ever see get a man shot 300 feet in the air? Because yeah,
the economy seems fine.
it's your standard
I haven't dove really into
Gold.
it too much, but yeah, it's a
System.
gold system
or
that seems
heavily on barter too for those
Yeah.
that aren't.
And the things that you
Gold.
would need in the game don't seem like they're terribly priced or like hard to get. It seems like most of the people are living in a moderate lifestyle.
Yeah, most people seem to have some kind of home, or the homeless people still have like churches to go to, like even like here, like sure there's places to go to, but not every homeless person can get in those places. But then you go to the Elder Scrolls, and most churches are like, oh yeah, you can just sleep on a pew, go.
Yeah.
We have beds in the back, or go sleep in the morgue or whatever grave.
Yeah, they let you.
The churches are a little more
And then speaking on that, the quality of life seems to be
so much better.
it's decent. It's not bad. In Fallout, even the people who were rich like still had like rats in their basements and stuff.
Yeah.
And here, if you're rich, you probably don't have that. You probably
I think the
have,
only
like your own
Fallout's universe, the only rich people that we see are the casino people and Tenpenny and 3.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know what other rich people.
Yeah.
are.
Well, I just mean people. Who are,
Yeah.
like, well off, not
Yeah.
necessarily like rich or anything, but
and
and
the
Elder
guy that
Scrolls-
that eats that death claw egg, that's gotta be rich.
I don't know what part you're referencing.
Oh,
But in Elder Scrolls, it generally seems to be, a decent quality of life for most of its people.
because you're not going through a changing of ages or other catastrophic events.
Right.
Eras. Changing of air.
Yeah, and we could speak on that right now. Is that the thing that makes Elder Scrolls possibly dangerous in a world that you wouldn't want to live in at all, other than like monsters being out in the woods and stuff, is the number of catastrophes that we have. Every game is based on at least one catastrophe. Skyrim, there are 2 catastrophes going on. I would consider the war a catastrophe
For sure.
because it's basically happening all over Skyrim. And then there's also the dragons. We see it from the point of view of the main character, obviously, but for everyone else that's there, soldier or not, is got to be just like shitting bricks, basically all the time. Because it's just like at any point there could be a dragon attack, or
Especially game mechanics wise, depends on what direction the Dragonborn is taking. Is he going to solve the civil war and then activate the dragon problem, or is he going to solve the dragon problem, let the civil war come to a standstill? Because you can do that, you can get a truce between them.
Yeah.
Or are you going to be the third worst option that we're just talking about? Is them happening at the exact same time? You got a raging war between natives and soldiers from the next country over, being influenced by another country they just got done in a war with. It's
And then
now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I want to live in Skyrim.
yeah, that's why I said not Skyrim.
Skyrim's even got like
It's
without those, it's got its own problems with
That's,
monsters.
that's why I said Oblivion is probably the
Yeah.
best. And like you
that
said,
in Cyrodiil.
after probably the Oblivion Crisis,
It's yeah.
because that's that. The other situation is terrible and annoying, but the Oblivion Crisis is like actually scary.
Yeah.
Like dragons
like, that's
coming, and, like
worldwide.
having like the dragons is like kind of crazy, and like having to deal with dragons and all these other monsters. The dragons are just another monster. But portals showing up, leading to an equivalent hell, sending demons out of it is like,
Yeah.
what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah. It's like, oh, this whole city had a portal just open up right outside, invade the city, slaughter pretty much everyone within that city.
Pretty much everything.
And what's that? The army can't help you? What are we supposed to do?
And then with that, we can move to the respawns, which again is same as Fallout.
It's just the reload.
There is no respawn.
Hey, at least the gods are prevalent in Elder Scrolls.
That's right. They do exist. And then let's move on to our cousin game here. The last of the trio here. I know Bethesda has other games, but they don't exist. Outer Worlds.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even think I could tell you another Bethesda game.
Wolfenstein.
They made
Wolfenstein. Starfield.
Oh, Starfield.
Yeah.
Another place I live.
Yeah, they have a bunch. But those are their big two, and then Outer Worlds is, I'll say, their cousin. It's kind of, they diverged off.
Yeah, it's made by the same people who made
Vegas, New Vegas.
City and
but Outer Worlds is basically the same type of game, but it is in the future. It takes place in space. You travel around to different habitable planets. In the first one, mostly like people can live on them.
Yeah.
They have cities. It's run by a bunch of corporations. So I began playing the second one.
Okay.
Video should be out. Right now. But yeah, let's talk through it. So safety seems pretty fine. I think you're mostly safe as long. Again, we're back to the city thing. As long as you don't go out in the wilds, you're safe.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, other than regular crime, which we will just dismiss because we have regular crime in our real world.
Yeah.
So you can't dismiss.
I think
safety.
You see it more in 1 than you do in 2. Is the whole like, oh, you live to work. That's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There's not many places where you're like,
It's big corporation.
like especially the Outer Worlds 1. You start on that first planet or whatever, and everyone's like, yeah, we're having a shitty time here.
No.
I'm tired of eating salt tuna.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Quality of life for the average person in the Outer Worlds is not great.
And then it all, especially in Outer Worlds, it all depends on where you're lucky with. Because you get to that main planet that has this huge, luxurious looking city, perfectly fine to live in. Then you get to the dark side of that city, where they don't have old people. That's because they're sending all those old people to a paradise, and they're just killing them. Savage.
It's pretty wild. I think like the Outer Worlds is maybe of these 3 games maybe the closest we could jump from our regular world to that world. It's kind of similar. The only thing I think that really stands out, is maybe we could chalk up to game mechanics of the world, but it's the space travel, and I think that's maybe the most interesting part.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I think that's the reason I would want to live in that, in that game world, is just being able to go onto a ship and then travel around on it. I mean, going to different planets and seeing different things that are habitable. These aren't.
Yeah.
It's not like our solar system where people could theoretically get to different planets but then they have to take some kind of suit or something like
Shit,
that.
you haven't even been to Mars yet.
Right. And if you lived on Mars, you would have to take a lot of
Yeah.
steps. You would need to get a suit and stuff like that. Whereas in the outer worlds, there's plenty of worlds where you don't have to do that. You just are out there. They have atmospheres that you are breathable, and and maybe each one has a little bit of a different kind of atmosphere, but they at least they're breathable.
That's definitely the most important part. But
yeah,
still, let me get to 2. The quality of life goes down quite a bit in 2.
yeah. Well, there's like some big corporation things happening. I mean, for anyone who's part of like the hell's the group that you're part of in the game?
The Earth Directorate?
The Earth Directorate. If you're part of them, then you're all right.
Well, we don't really know much about them either.
Well, as far as I can see, it seems
Nobody's had contact with Earth since you show up at the beginning of the game, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, for the most part, it seems like you're, taken care of, though. At least, like you.
Until you get there,
you're part of a group there.
I mean, these Earth Directors are supposed to be like top-notch agents that are going around taking down evil corporations to put in their own
Yeah.
democracy.
Yeah. It's pretty sus. But overall, I mean, if you were just a regular, NPC that lived in that world, I think you'd have, an okay time. Nothing crazy. But I think we'll move on from those. Again, those are the worlds that would be fun for like a day.
Yeah.
You get to hang out in that fantasy world.
Especially if I know I'm going into it, then I'll be like,
You want to know what?
can you
why
make
do
it
we
a
have
little better?
Why do we have Fallout on the list? I think just because we like the game, but there's no real reason. There's no real reason.
Because it would be fun for a day. You're telling me when I want to eat some of those foods? That's mainly what I'm in it for, is to eat some of those kind of foods.
Mud fruit? No, I don't want to eat mud fruit. That isn't something I ever thought of. Fallout might have to just get off the list because I mean, at least for me, I'm trying to think of something. I mean, it would be cool to just like be part of the Brotherhood of Steel, I guess, just to get a
We're ignoring the
power armor.
electronic fascism.
I'm there for a day.
That's true.
I'm there for a day. Let me get a suit. I want to be a paladin for a day. And that would be about it. Just to feel the power of the suit. But we'll move on to
We're Enclave then, so I can get their armor. Their armor's better.
Fair enough. But we could move on here to worlds that we would make a good attempt at living in. So these are worlds that are still dangerous,
But less.
but a lot less so, that we could definitely make a good attempt at. And this isn't a huge favorite game of mine, but I do think it would be interesting. I'll let you know why. Mostly because the game mechanics, obviously, is Minecraft. So the quality of living is terrible. The quality of living is terrible. The safety is terrible. The economy is non-existent.
They have an economy, sort of.
The
It's all
food-
emerald
The
based.
food is limited and probably not great. The food is pretty limited.
Not really. Yeah, it is, but no. Yes and no. You can do a lot of stuff. You can make cake.
Well,
So that's pretty cool.
cool. Oh, you can
Cookies.
Yeah, like you can make some stuff. Yes, but at the same time,
Yeah, you're pretty limited too.
you're limited to what you can make. And mostly I'm here because I want to just have the game mechanics. This might even just be a world that would be fun for a day for me, actually. And maybe not something to make a good attempt at, because I don't think I would want to live in this world very long. But being able to take my fist and take down a whole tree and punch a tree and be able to take that wood from the tree and turn it into a house pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Would be pretty cool. And just being able to build all that stuff, I think would be pretty cool. And that's basically the only reason I would want to live in that world.
The best part, you actually respawn.
You do. So this is a world where you do get to respawn, even if you die. You just lose the stuff you were holding.
Yeah.
Oh no, I dropped everything out of my pockets, but I'm still alive. I mean, I'd take that.
Yeah.
Not sure. I'll take that for sure.
Then we get to kind of realistic. Imagine the mental toll that would take on you. You die.
I don't want
You respawn in another part of the world, and you're like,
I have my way back.
Where am I?
I don't want to think about it too much. Yeah, I think Minecraft would be pretty cool. I don't have a lot to say about it because most of the stuff is all dependent based. The safety of everything, economy is I guess only if there's other people in the world with you because
Well, there's villagers.
there's like enemies trade with them.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Sometimes they're decent trades. Sometimes they're not. But sometimes you get 20 pieces of coal can get you an emerald. Sometimes they got some. You get the wandering traders. Bottle of water will get you an emerald through them sometimes.
And then one other thing that we haven't really discussed is like the social aspect. You get alone,
Yeah.
very lonely.
Yeah,
you could-
there's nothing else that speaks.
Yeah.
The villagers just go. So they're speaking their own language. So yeah, that's another part of that mental toll that would take on you. Just sitting there, just thinking to yourself all the time.
Yeah.
There's nothing to occupy your mind with.
Like I said, these are worlds we could make a good attempt at. And with that, I'm going to move on to the next one, which I have down. And I don't know very much about this world, but the aesthetic is cool, and that's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I know really nothing about that world.
I know very little. I played Final Fantasy VII, the original one, and that's kind of all I got for that. So safety seems pretty decent for the general population. The economy, I have no clue on. The quality of life for the regular individual seems okay. Being able to do magic and have technology at the same time seems pretty sick. Being able to summon monsters and creatures to come and fight on your behalf would seem pretty cool to me. And a lot of it, like I said, it's really just the aesthetic of the world. You could also easily swap this one out for me with like Cyberpunk, and I would be
Okay. Yeah.
just like the kind of future.
Well, I feel like the quality of life in there is pretty trash.
For Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
That's another world where it's like you only see the bad though. So like there's got to be
There's got to be a good side.
just like regular
Or
people living.
not a good side.
Right.
It's upside.
Right. You just like regular people living. The reason you're in the dumps in Cyberpunk 2077 is because you're a mercenary, so you see all the ugly.
Yeah.
If you weren't this mercenary, if you were just like, I just work a 9 to 5, I feel like
I suppose I haven't watched Edge Runners, but from like clips and I've seen, it seems pretty normal. I mean, people just riding on trains, just going about their day. I've been meaning to watch that actually.
For Final Fantasy, I don't know about the respawn system. Cyberpunk has a similar respawn to the previous worlds, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Other Worlds. It's the same kind of deal. It's the same type.
Just reloads.
Yeah, it's reloads. There's no actual respawn. The food for Final Fantasy and or Cyberpunk seems like it would be probably good.
Yeah, I can't say I played too much of Cyberpunk, but it seemed alright. I mean,
Cyberpunk seems pretty just like future. It's just future.
yeah.
Final Fantasy basically seems the same, except that there's also magic.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about Final Fantasy's lore. But again, we do know it's Assassin's Creed. Now, we're going to take Assassin's Creed. Before we get into Assassin's Creed, we got a caveat. So, Assassin's Creed takes place in the regular real world. So, a lot of the things that we would say about safety, the economy, the quality of life, is just normal stuff.
For the most part, yeah, I'd probably say yeah.
What we want to talk about is the Animus and having the Animus exist in our world. So the Animus, if you don't know, is a technological device that you get into, and I don't know exactly the full mechanics about it, but essentially it goes into your mind, into your DNA, and it reads your ancestry, and then you get to live in the body of your ancestors.
I would assume, realistically speaking here, that you would get to choose the ancestor.
Well, yeah, it seemed like they were choosing for you.
Especially in the first
The first 3 games.
3 games, 1, 2, and 3, that they were specifically looking through Altair, Ezio, and Connor. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce his real name.
I had it down at one point, but I don't remember.
Oh, it's just know it starts with an R.
I would have to act to read it. But yeah, so let's discuss this a little bit. We can go through it kind of quickly because again, there's like a lot of this stuff is fine. Maybe the respawn is kind of cool to talk about here, but I think everything else is just regular life.
And then even then, like, yeah, like in these other worlds, we're risking our life in the world, theoretically. In the enemies, we're not.
Yeah.
We're in a game, essentially.
Yeah, it does. It later in later games it becomes a game.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing in like 4, Rogue,
Previous to
Unity.
previous to Origins
Is that
it's a
they're
game.
making it a game or a movie. I want to say Black Flag is a movie.
Is that the one where you work at Abstergo?
Yeah,
It's a game.
is it a game? Oh,
Yeah, you like go to your desk and you like sit down at your desk.
well, they do that in
You log
Rogue too.
You like log into the game.
Yeah.
And then you like it's
Well, but I think their cover for doing that is that they're getting clips and scenes for a movie.
oh, I thought it was to make a game.
That's what I don't.
It's one of those two where they're trying to either make a game or make a movie by going into the Animus. Point being is that the Animus would be cool to
Yeah.
dive into our personal ancestries.
Yeah.
And try
Personally, I'd love to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly,
'cause I don't know my ancestors.
yeah,
Not like that.
probably
Probably pretty boring.
pretty
Pretty boring. Don't get me wrong.
on average for the average person, it's probably pretty boring. But just to even see it would be cool. Just to have that experience to be able to go back and see
Yeah.
what the ancestors were like and what they were doing.
From 200 years ago to 1,000 years ago. That'd be pretty cool.
They go back pretty far for distance. Yeah, and then the respawns, like we were saying before we got on a little tangent there. The respawns basically is you're just looking at a memory essentially. You're not even actually like theoretically you're not acting in the world. You
Yeah, you're just sitting there. I think what it is as
and the reason you die is because you went off course of the actual memory.
yeah,
It's basically
because I read, believe it or not, I read a book, and it was an Assassin's Creed book. I still have it at home. I did read a book.
Yes.
Although I don't think I read it. I don't think I've read a book since I got out of school. There was other times I read a book actually.
Anyway, so
But they're in the book, this guy steals the Animus actually from Abstergo. I don't remember why, but he gets a bunch of these kids to come and use the Animus to dig through their memories.
interesting.
And yeah, all it is then is when they go in, they're not controlling it.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there watching through their eyes the whole time. And it's pretty cool because because like there's like 3 or 4 different kids, and one of the kids is related to an assassin, of course. One of the kids is related to a Templar, and then one of the kids is just like, "Yeah, you're a servant." That's it. I think I remember her being pretty mad. It's like, I'm just a servant girl who walks around the town just for her owner, master, whatever, their lord or whatever. It's pretty interesting because they relate that book, actually, some of the characters in there, to the games. Rogue specifically.
Nice.
So, but the Animus would be really cool.
Yep. And they wouldn't have to necessarily be a full game world that we'd have to live in, but if we could just take the Animus,
Yeah.
that would be super sick.
Just stick it right.
Before we move on to a world we could actually live in and want to do so, we're gonna stop for a quick segment here, middle of our episode. We got the NPC of the week. You decided to bring the NPC of the week.
Oh yes, Maik the Liar.
Yeah, tell us about Maik the Liar. Just give us like a 60-second rundown.
Maik the Liar is a reoccurring NPC that comes in Elder Scrolls. See with Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, as well as the online version. I don't know much about the online or the Morrowind version, but I have personally run into him in Skyrim and Oblivion.
Okay.
And he's supposed to be this person with great knowledge. He claims to have all this knowledge from his travels and about these events and all this and that, but most of the time it's just a bunch of bullshit. it's a bunch of bullshit. But what makes it interesting to me is, I don't know, how many characters do you know that are reoccurring through several games that take place in different time periods?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So like the big thing is like, well, is this like one guy, one Khajiit, who was like God level,
Right.
or is it just like,
Mhm.
yeah, or, well, the reason I don't want to say immortal is because they all look different.
Oh, okay.
So like we got Mike the Liar and Morrowind, pretty janky looking, huh? And we got, we don't know how to do phone upside down. And here's the Skyrim version.
Do they look different, or is it just a time period? Like,
No, I would definitely say they look a little different.
I don't know if they look different. I think it's just the graphic flow.
I'd say they look a little different. 'Cause that one looks nothing like the other two.
All right.
Now, that's why I went with more God level beings. Because maybe if it is, then he's just changing his appearance, kind of how like we see Sheol Gorath do it a lot, or all the other Daedras.
Fair.
See this as Sheol Gorath is technically two different Daedra in a than after Oblivions. I guess Maeve the Liar's in their mobile game castles. But
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I played a little bit of that. But yeah, he's just got a bunch of useless, like, random knowledge that, like, you can't confirm or deny it. But, like, when he announces himself as, I am Maik the Liar. Come on, dude. I don't know if I'm going to believe you exactly.
For sure.
And
Wait,
as,
he introduced.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he says, I'm Maik the Liar.
All right. Okay. Well, that was our NPC of the week. Thanks for bringing that. We'll keep these recurring segments going. They're kind of random which ones we do, but they'll come back. So next time you'll have to see which NPC of the week it is.
Okay, wrench.
But we are going to move on here to worlds we could live in and worlds we would want to live in. So I only have two. One you said you don't know that much about, but I think you probably know more about it than you actually know about it. With a little caveat there. But let's start with Pokemon. Easily, I think it's just number one world that is a game to live in, that you can live in without any risk of danger. And in fact, there's very little like crime happening in the games. There's one crime organization usually per region.
Yeah.
But other than that, and they're not doing anything really to people.
Yeah. They're not. It's like running in through people's homes all the time. They're robbing a bank. They're just like,
and there's no.
We want your Pokemon.
Yeah, there's no violence. It's like,
oh no,
it's mostly like Pokemon battles that you have to defeat them in,
and you're not even getting harmed in the Pokemon battles.
Right? Yeah. So let's go through.
So
safety, I think we're almost completely safe.
Yeah,
I think there's a little.
I'm sure there's chances of some of the bigger wild Pokemon to maybe come onto the trails or maybe partially.
But in the games,
but
yeah, if we're just looking at games, the safety, you're fine. You never get hurt or see anything. The economy is crazy. So I don't understand. It's a mystery how the money works in Pokemon. Do you know how the money works?
No, I don't.
Okay, the money is wild. The only thing that I can see is that it is close to looking like the yen, because it'll be like, I don't know, 100 $. I don't know the name of the money. For like a Pokeball.
Okay.
Or like 300 for like an Ultra Ball or something like that. My theory is that these are more like, I don't know, these are closer to maybe like yen, where yen doesn't have like decimal point. It's just like 1 yen is almost equal to 1 cent for us. So like,
That's because in the Japanese versions of the game they call it yen.
Is that what you just looked it up? Oh, okay. So basically,
otherwise it's called the Pokédollar.
Okay, so it is yen. So basically it's just yen. Okay, so the economy is fine. It's just yen. Right?
In the original Japanese versions of the games, the currency is yen using the Japanese symbol.
Okay, so the economy is fun. The quality of life is like pretty fantastic. I think mostly. I mean, everyone lives in towns. There's very many, like most people. The food is phenomenal.
Delicious.
I'm trying to think like the new game Scarlet Violet. Like everything is like great. Everything's just like pretty nice overall. It's like the happiest little world you could like live
For
in.
real.
The game mechanics are fantastic. It's Pokemon battles.
And from the little bit I played and seen from the games, everyone seems really nice.
Yeah.
No one's like
there's
piss off.
Yeah, there's no one that's like really rude to you. There's a couple people where they're just like a little standoffish, and that's like their way of being like an edgy character.
Yeah.
In the game is just like
I use Ghost and Dark type Pokemon.
I'm not gonna look at you directly when I'm talking to you, but other than that, it's like it's good. Everyone's
Doesn't let you see that I'm about to punch you in your face.
But yeah, I mean, you could easily just be a Pokemon trainer living in the world, traveling around
For sure.
and just like
You don't even have to be a Pokemon trainer and you'd be fine.
you can even just don't have to be a trainer and just have Pokemon.
Yeah.
You don't have to even have Pokemon.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I
want
want
to.
Pokemon. For sure.
Everyone
Hence
wants
that. What it
like you said, the food is great. And then the respawn, there is no respawn.
you don't
So the form of respawn in that game is really that all your Pokemon are knocked out. If you're in the wild, you go back to town. And they probably need to fix how the respawns work. I think a little bit as we move into these later games because
it just if you lose all your Pokemon in the wild, you just go dark and you appear at
in any battle, if all your Pokemon are knocked out, the screen just goes dark and it sends you to the nearest or last, depending on the game, Pokemon Center that you were at.
Okay.
So in the new game, I think it's just the nearest one to you.
Okay.
It just boots you right there. So it's fine. I think Pokemon is easily the number one on top, safest place to be, easiest. I mean, I would have a lot of fun. I love Pokemon. So being able to live in the world and have my own Pokemon.
What's a Pokemon you'd want to have?
Easily Mamoswine and Bronzong, like my two favorite. Dragonite is also really cool, but Dragonite I feel like would be a harder range.
Yeah, for sure.
The other two not be as hard, and I feel like it would be easy in our area.
I feel like you could just
to find a match because you just buy a Pokemon. I don't think this.
Okay, I didn't know if
it happens. It happens very little times in the games.
Okay, so you could trade Pokemon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we'll move on to the next game. Pokemon is an easy win. The next game though is Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts, you don't know very much about. Something
other than that, it's I don't think I know anything.
Okay. So it's made by Square Enix, which is people who make Final Fantasy.
Okay.
So it's basically they've taken Final Fantasy World and they've combined it with Disney World, and that is basically it. That's basically it.
Huh.
Each world is basically its own planet. Or each movie world is basically its own.
Okay.
So you travel. So in the first game, what happens is that you are. So a bunch of stuff happens. I'm going to skip right to the main part, and you get teamed up with Donald and Goofy, and you go on these travels basically to these different worlds. Some of them are, most of them are worlds reflecting a Disney movie, and then there's a couple that aren't. But yeah, it's mainly just that. So just kind of going through our several things here. Safety, I think, is pretty high. I mean, it's Disney. It's Disney. So unless you're the main character,
is from what I've seen, can you go to Pirates of the Caribbean?
yes, I believe you can in later games.
Probably about as dangerous as you're gonna get maybe for Star Wars.
Yeah, but if you're not anyone's parent of the main character, I think you're probably fine to survive.
Did the main character's parents die?
The main character parents, I don't know actually. I never played the games long enough, but I can tell you in the beginning of the game there are no parents on the world you're on.
Oh,
it's like you and like 10 other kids. That it's not that many, but it's like it's just like you and 10 other teenagers are.
Yeah.
Various ages, probably from like 12 to like 17 or 18.
Okay.
So I don't know. So safety seems pretty fine, other than when the events of Kingdom Hearts takes place. But otherwise, on most of the world, it seems fine.
Yeah, what's the respawn mechanics like?
The respawn mechanics, I don't remember offhand. This might be a go back to your last save, but it might be a checkpoint as well. You can go look it up.
Yeah.
All right. I'll speak on the economy that I don't remember, but it seemed fine. The quality of life, it depends on the world you're living in, but I feel like it's mostly fine. The kids in the beginning, their quality of life is not great because they're just on an island, but overall they seem to take care of each other and seem to be having fun. The game mechanics is very similar to Final Fantasy as far as like the fighting. But if you're not getting into fights, it seems okay. The game mechanics are kind of put aside, and then the food's got to be phenomenal, right? You're in different Disney worlds, so and
Yeah, you get to try different stuff from
all
different
the
places.
different kinds of things. You get to go to Agrabah, but also out of I can't even think of every world. Let's
Think Abstain. And the Princess and the Frog area. I'll just eat
so go
gumbo
I don't know if
and
that ever came up in any of the games. Maybe in the newest game.
jambalaya.
I mean, we could just say that any Disney movie would exist.
Yeah.
Theoretically they would in the Kingdom Hearts universe. So yeah, you could go anywhere.
Why wouldn't they? Why would? Yeah, like
I'm
theoretically, why would they?
I'm just gonna go to the France planet or whatever it's called. For Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
And then the respawns.
Go to the rabbit restaurant. It's
All right, well, when you
the
say
AI
rat,
overview. Huh?
say when you say rat restaurant like that, now I'm kind of double thinking. I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Remy's
Maybe
restaurant.
I just will go to NOLA. and just
Yeah, just from the AI overview, sometimes you get a game over screen, which then comes to a load, save, or retry.
okay.
But then
Probably depends.
Then I see the one that says story respawns, characters often vanish or become unconscious, only to reappear later.
Okay. I think those are the NPCs that are with you.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume just by looking at it, just just gonna go with reloads.
Okay. So not great. So definitely don't want to die, because reloading, in my mind, means that it's a definite death. It's permanent death. A reload doesn't a respawn.
It's a Disney game.
Well, okay, sort of. It's following mechanics of Final Fantasy. A reload is not a respawn. A reload means that it's a permanent death. You have to go back to a previous load. If you play survival mode, that doesn't exist. When you die, you're dead. Followed in.
Yeah.
But overall, I think Kingdom Hearts is pretty great. I just wouldn't want to deal with any of the things going on.
Where are you going that you're dying?
Well, right. Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the only one I can actively think of, unless you're actively.
You do go to
fighting.
Tarzan. Like Tarzan's plan to, and in the first game.
Yeah, you might die there.
Yeah. I just want to go.
Yeah.
Get me off of this planet ASAP.
Either you're getting whipped around by gorillas or you're being shot by whatever.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I have to say, I think the world that I would have probably the most fun probably in, I think, would probably be Outer Worlds or having the Animus.
Yeah, but let's say the Animus probably takes the cake for me.
But Pokemon is, I think, definitely number one.
Yeah,
definite, like safest, most realistic world.
Yeah, for
sure. Poured ourselves into. Any last comments from you before we close it out?
No, I don't. No, we talked about everything. We covered everything. I'm all good.
All right. Thanks for watching, nerds. Go ahead, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever you got to do, depending on if this is the audio or video version. Thanks for watching, and have a good game. I'm going to go watch my recording later.